or we can do that some other time.
If it's available, we can run through it. Yes, so if these point standings are available, George, we can announce it at this time.
In Group 1 of the Division 1 League, DS Sports Club from Point Michel on 9 points from 3 matches. The Initials Point Michel on 6 points from 2 matches. All Saints on 6 points from 3 matches. Blue Waters Baffin State on 3 points from 1 match. Promex Salem United on 3 points from 3 matches. Police on 0 points from 1 match. South Dominators on 0 points from 2 matches. And Kensbury United on 0 points from 3 matches. In Group 2, Naturescape, which is a new club, they had the points table. I think Delvin will know a lot about this club. It's a new club participating in Division 1 League. They are 9 points from 3 matches. Middleham United on 6 points from 2 matches. Derby Boys on 6 points from 3 matches. Maosoka Strikers on 4 points from 3 matches. Mighty Avengers on 4 points from 2 matches. Trafalgar on 0 points from 2 matches. Wayne George Academy 0 points from 2 matches. And Paris United on 0 points from 3 matches. In Group 3, we have St. Joseph on 10 points from 4 matches. Exodus on 10 points from 4 matches. Bombers on 6 points from 3 matches. Dubla on 6 points from 4 matches. Kalibishi on 6 points from 3 matches. Itasi United on 3 points from 4 matches. Colio on 0 points from 3 matches. And Glanville on 0 points from 3 matches. And in Group 4, we have Valvoline United on 7 points from 3 matches. Connect 767 East Central on 7 points from 3 matches. Sajiko Southeast on 6 points from 2 matches. LA Stars on 6 points from 2 matches. Wooti Blazers on 3 points from 4 matches. Marigot United on 3 points from 3 matches. RC Doctors on 0 points from 2 matches. And Boston on 0 points from 3 matches. These are the 4 groups in the Division 1 League. And in the Senior Women League, we have Dubla at the top of the points table on 9 points from 3 matches. Second, Bombers on 6 points from 3 matches. Belfast Estate Maosoka Strikers on 6 points from 3 matches. Do It Center Mighty Avengers on 6 points from 3 matches. The defending champions on 3 points, they have only played 1 match so far. Harlem United on 3 points from 3 matches. All Saints on 3 points from 3 matches. Wooti Blazers on 0 points from 1 match. The Kalinago Warriors on 0 points from 2 matches. And Middleham United on 0 points from 2 matches. So that's all the competitions that are on from the DFA.
Gerard George, we want to thank you very much. That's some very, very good work by you. A comprehensive report on the football action in Dominica. We want to thank you very, very much for putting this together. Delvin? Holy Line George. Delvin?
No, well, he said it all, kiddies, and as you know that the football have been going on, the league have been going on, so we just hope that the league will continue to run as smooth as it can.
Thank you very much. George, thank you very much for joining us on Off the Field this evening.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much. Gerald George, the Public Relations Officer of the DFE. Now, it's time to get to Studio 2 to say good evening to Kavem Hodge, the West Indies player named a sports ambassador for Dominica this week. Kavem Hodge, good evening to you. Yes, let's say good evening to you again.
Yes, it's good. Good evening. Good evening. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
We are very happy you are joining us. Delvin?
Good evening to you, Kavin, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We want to speak to you this evening, Kavem Hodge, about your cricketing career. And of course, we said congratulations to you already, having been made a sports ambassador for Dominica. You made your West Indies debut a few weeks ago. Talk to us, first of all, about having been called on the West Indies team. Talk to us about the moment when you got the call to be a West Indies player.
Well, I wasn't given a call, actually. I was told in person by the chairman of selectors. We were in Antigua for the Best v Best series. That was to select a squad to for the Bangladesh A-team series. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get onto that squad. And then after the last day of the last match, the chairman of selectors, he called me aside and he told me that I was selected for the ODI games in Dubai. So it was a great feeling. Obviously, I was slightly disappointed not getting into the A-team, but I believe everything happens at the right time and everything happens for a reason. So I was really elated about it.
You have been on the cricketing scene for many, many years. I would have done interviews with you for a number of years ago, and know you from the Atkinson area. That's where you're from originally.
Yes, Atkinson and Trizzo, yes.
That's where you're from.
Yes.
Who are your parents in Atkinson?
Oh, my mom is Miranda Laville.
Miranda Laville.
Yeah, she's married, so she's Miranda Geese. My dad is Alexander Hodge.
And you have been living in Atkinson all your life so far?
No, I moved to town when I started college. So my mom moved to England. So I was living with my grandparents and my sister and uncle. And my grandparents moved to the US to live with their children for a bit. And then, so the family kind of drifted a bit. But fortunately, I had, the Cavaliers Cricket Club that I played for. And, they took me in. So I lived with a number of individuals, Tom Lafont, Gifford Walsh, Jeff Pearl, Dan Shillingford, all these guys, So it wasn't a straight path for me. I was part of, a lot of individuals' lives. And, I think all of them had a part to play in, molding me into the person that I am today.
Growing up in Atkinson, how was that like? School days and your surroundings, how was that like growing up in Atkinson?
Yeah, it was, it was lovely. Atkinson and Trizzo Atkinson is very small. Everybody knows everybody. Close to the beach. Everything is close proximity. So, I used to walk to primary school. We have a field, so I used to stay back late to play cricket, get there early before classes start to play cricket. On the weekends, I'd spend all day on the beach. So it was, it was a tight, community, a wonderful niche. Everybody supported everybody. And, it was just, typical countryside, lots of mango trees. I mentioned mango trees because everybody knows I love mango.
Up to now?
Up to now, everybody.
Well, you have enough mangoes to eat.
No, it's a genuine love of mine. I think one of the main reasons, obviously, we had 5 grafted mango trees in my yard growing up. So, during mango season, I never really studied food. I just wanted mangoes, sit down for a bag of mango, and yes, I'm a happy boy. So, and it reflects to the eye, that's all I really want. I just, enjoy mangoes. So, yeah.
At what stage, though, did one realize you had some cricket prowess in Atkinson?
It would be difficult to identify the exact stage, but I think the earliest coach I had was Claudius Sanford. He used to go around doing, programs for the under-13. So I was selected for the Atkinson Primary, and we came together for the East Zone at the under-13 school festivals. And, that's where it started. I started as a wicket keeper, and I used to bowl a little medium pace. And, when I went on I got selected for, Dominica at the under-13 level to trials for the St. Kitts Festival. And, meeting up with Thomas Kentish, and he was like, this medium pacing. I was holding the ball funny. I used to hold the ball cross seam and still try and off-cut the ball. Then Kentish was like, no, try bowling some spin. And, that's where it started. And then, I took my batting seriously, and everything just, moved on from there. So it, I think from under 13, just as I kept going up the ranks, it just started to evolve and, just got better and better. Like I said, I played a lot of cricket on the beach with a lot of older guys, so it was a tough environment. So I think that helped mold me into, being a bit gritty and helped me to develop.
As we said, you've been around for a very long time, playing your cricket all over the place in Dominica. You captained the Windward Islands team recently.
Yes.
The Windward Islands senior team.
Yes.
Would have captained other teams.
Yes.
Do you think that you have been around for, as we said, a long time, and probably now is the time to make it onto the West Indies team?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in everything happens at the right time. Even though I would, with that being said, there are times when I thought that, I should have probably, try harder, or I always try and, evaluate myself and think back, what I could have done to probably, be at a further stage now. But, everything is unfold. I think that everything is unfolding the way that it's supposed to. Who knows if I'd probably made the team earlier, and I'll probably take it for granted and I'll probably fall by the wayside or whatever the case is. But I'm happy with the way things are unfolding. For me personally right now, is just to ensure that, it doesn't go to my head and, I make the most of it. Grab it with both hands. Opportunity is a scarce commodity, So it's something that I really appreciate, but knowing that, hey, it's just the beginning and I have to make use of the opportunity.
What about the people who have been around you trying to mold you into a cricketer? Who are some of these key people that you remember?
Yeah, but that's a very long list. Like I said earlier, I grew up with a lot of individuals. So like I said, the first coach I had was obviously Claudius, and then Trevor Shillingford came into the picture. Thomas Kentish. Then, you move on to Mervyn Thomas. We had obviously Gifford and Tom. They played a really big part, with not just on the field, but off the field. They really, kept me in a straitjacket. They really helped me. And in terms of how I carry myself off the field, how I speak to people, what I do. Because we all know, the Cavaliers, they like their rum and coke. And just the other day I was telling Regina that they love their rum and coke, but at no point did they allow us to touch that stuff. They kept us in line. And, I think that, like I said, it really helped, set me on the straight and narrow. And that has really, helped me to benefit up till this day. So, yeah.
Delvin?
And Kevin is saying that then I just reflecting Curtis, because I know at those stages you could not play for Cavaliers at a young age. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be a certain age to play for Cavaliers.
Yes. And a veteran sort of thing.
Yeah, a veteran sort of thing, because he playing for Cavaliers at that age, they had to have a long talk with him, because I can tell you straight, I played a match for Cavaliers and I remember that very well. They dropped me and told me that I was too young. So that's to show you how strict. But I know that Tom Laffour and Gifford played a major part in him, really molding him along and keeping him together and really work on with him. And right now, the fruits.
Yeah, it appears that, he is getting to where he wants to.
Oh, yes.
Let's look at the cricket, Kavem, at the regional level, because you would have played a lot of cricket at the regional level for the Windward Islands.
Yeah.
How is that going on? What do you think?
No, I think it is a really exciting time, especially for Windward Islands cricket. Obviously, I made my debut for the Windward team at a very young age. Didn't do too well early up and then got dropped for, a significant amount of time. And obviously, I had some time to try and get back into the team, which I did. So I think that only made me appreciate being part of the team a lot more, and being more hungry to help the team move forward. And before in the past, the Windward's team, we looked at as a team that easy points, others could step over us and just do whatever. But that the mentality and the direction that we're going is really changing. I must commend Alec for the work he's done as captain. Obviously, I was captain before that, and things didn't go too well. Obviously, working with a young team, and we changing and the transition. But I think that since Alec has taken up the captaincy, the direction that he's helped take the team, and with the help of myself and a lot of senior guys, we've played some really good and exciting brand of cricket. It's just unfortunate we haven't gotten the result that we wanted. Just missing out on the championship by a few points. It was a bit difficult. It was a bittersweet moment. Obviously, beating Barbados, is always a good feeling. But knowing that you're depending on another team to give you a couple of points so that you could win, and they wasn't able to come through, so
that's the Leeward Islands.
Yes,
so
and it happened on an April Fool Day. We are expecting the guys to win, and probably on the first session of the last day, the guys who were dealing with the camera, they were shouting on the ground telling us, Leeward's lost, and we couldn't believe it. We didn't believe it because it was April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
I myself was playing pranks on the guys during warm-up and doing all kind of stupidness, And then, at the end of the day, we realized we found out that they lost, So it was difficult. It was a hard pill to swallow, but, we're happy with where we are at the moment, and we just, have to ensure that we continue to move in that direction.
It is 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. The program is Off the Field. Kavem Hodge, West Indies player, sports ambassador for Dominica, is our featured guest tonight. We are speaking with him about his cricketing life and, of course, the years to come. There's a big test match to look forward to in Dominica from the 12th of next month. We suspect the West Indies team, Delvin, should be selected, in the next 2 weeks or so? Before that?
A matter of fact, they should be selecting that in very early cases because, as you know, the test matches in Dominica, the Indian team have already been selected to come to the Caribbean, and they have a very strong team, and the selectors of India will maybe put in a strong team together, and maybe some of the senior players in India was asking that why are we going to play against West Indies, a very weak team that they could have picked and give other guys the exposure. But I think the West Indies team coming to Dominica, we should look at a reasonable team and hoping that both Kavem and Avanas can play, because what we saw there in the World Cup qualifying going on so far, Curtis, is a lot to be desired of.
Well, that's a different scenario. You're
Different
talking
scenario.
about
Test.
a one-day team.
Yes, but you're talking about
a test match
yeah,
team.
but you're talking about some of the 4 or 5 players from that team, from that one-day team up there. We'll be leaving very, very soon. I maybe be leaving to come to join the test team. So maybe they might have to just decide to let those guys stand, pick young guys around and so on. And I was listening to Red Sparrow last night, and he was saying, well, give the guys in the Caribbean, the younger guys, the opportunity to play the test match and so on, bring in some young bloods, Curtis.
Let's go to the telephone straight off this evening. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. I must have my voice and comment for being given the accolade of Goodwill Ambassador. And, I arrived in the States today. I came to the Olympics, but I want to commend them highly because I heard some comments on another radio station, some negatives, where persons, instead of applauding these 2 guys, one from South City Grande and one from the Palinago, and as I look to the encyclopedia, it says the Goodwill Ambassador shall possess or be recognized for talents in sports, in arts, in business, and it goes on to say that the person should demonstrate strong desire to help others to mobilize public interest. And I think this is a good accolade that we should highlight and commend these youngsters very much for for being given the opportunity to represent Dominica in that capacity. They have really brought Dominica proud. As a matter of fact, that's the first time that 2 Dominicans have made it on a same in the West Indies team at the same time. You have had 3 Formula Awards, you have had Trinidad, Barbados. First time, and persons in Dominica should commend the youngsters. Very often we say youngsters are forgotten. And here it is. The government of Dominica saw the positive initiative, took it, and gave them this sort of, appointment as Goodwill Ambassadors, which is fitting. I want to commend you 2 highly. You all are 2 youngsters that I admire a lot, and I can only hope you'll continue to go from strength to strength and can get selection in the West Indies versus India right here in Dominica. I'm not sure, Curtis, I don't want to steal the spotlight, but as you know, the Special Olympics team arrived today from Berlin, Germany. We got some 5 medals, including 4 silvers and 4 silvers and a bronze. Oh, no, in fact, 5 silvers and 1 bronze. And I want
so
to say
6 medals in all. 6 medals in all.
6 medals in all. And we did very well when you look at 7,500 athletes from around the world, Germany and everywhere. And Dominica placed very high, to get silver medals. We could have gotten some more medals. In fact, we came first in the 1500 and the 800, but because of a new rule, Rule 9.2, from the Special Olympics rules that came out recently, Dominica was disqualified for what we call over-leveling. That is to say, our athletes perform higher than the grouping in which they were. In fact, for instance, the guy Sanjay Laville in the 1500, we sent a score of something like 4.02, and he ran in 2.14 seconds, and they found that was too fast for his division and all this thing. But all the Caribbean teams, we protested because 65 athletes suffered from around the region and also in swimming. But the good news is Dominica was well represented, and I want to commend the athletes and those who accompanied us to the Berlin Games. But tonight is for Hodge, so I won't steal the spotlight. But I want to commend these 2 youngsters, tremendous pedigree youngsters. I've seen them play, I have spoken to them, and they really are committed towards making Dominica proud. And full marks to the authorities for giving them the accolade. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ainsworth Irish, Director of Special Olympics in Dominica, and of course, a sports administrator. Delvin?
Yes, Chris, and me too, Chris. I really want to extend condolences I want to extend all the best wishes to the athletes and so on. As you know, that they did very well, and a Special Olympics kid is doing well, picking up medals, kiddies, and kiddies, it's just strange to see that the Special Olympics have been doing very well for a number of years. They have been going represent out there, and they have won gold medals, they have won silver medals. So we really have to have some special recognition for them because they have been doing tremendously well representing Dominica.
Let's go back to the telephone. Good evening.
Good evening, Curtis.
Good evening.
Good evening, Delvin.
Good evening.
Are you all hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I really want to commend Hodge for getting onto that team. I mean, I've been following that guy. I don't know that guy. You don't know me, but I've been following him for years. And sometimes I even get upset about what they're trying to do him, and you're not gonna ask, as though to me, he's those guys, I taking this thing personal. When these guys, hey, look, as though not wanting these guys to get on, but Curtis, when you see I see boy, what's going on with these two chaps, I go on a serious praying to God and tell them when see themselves, fix yourself, put themselves inside you. I think God has been answering my prayer. So I want to tell Kavem Hodge, go there, you give him the opportunity. Make best use of that opportunity. It's an advice I'm giving you. I would like you to take it. When you go on bat, hit every ball to its merit. Don't go and fishing after ball you don't have to fish after. You know what I mean? Put down, the longer you can bat, it's better for all the two guys. Put down all yourself, take your time. And I think I put my 100 in a book for you nationals. 12 all you have to come up with 100. But only bat twice or once, I have 100 for Arsenal and 100 for your Hodge. So don't go and disappoint me, man. I pray that God will carry all those fellas through that test and all those two Dominica proud. And I'm very happy that the Prime Minister picked that thing up. We let all the ambassadors, and doing all the little stipend, fix all you up, man. It's time we start fixing up our players and looking after them. And I think all you have a lot to go after. Take all your time. Don't let it go to all your head. And I'll be there in the test match. And that's going to be a proud moment. My brother for 2 of on our island playing a test match. And we're very happy that's going to happen. I figure that's going to be the biggest test match in the Caribbean, in West Indies cricket. And all over the world, they can hear me talking about it. It's going to be the biggest test match. So what I want to do, a lot of times we open in our mouth, but we're not supporting. We have to come out and support these two men on that test match. Come out and support. Raise your hand for them. Say a little prayer for them that God will preserve their wicked and they can score a couple hundreds there. And they will do well. But I give them my blessings. And I will be there, Mr. Hodge. And my brother, it's your little wrap up and your little oats and your flaxseed and your pumpkin seed to keep your health, yeah?
Thank you very much.
And your good truth. And make us proud.
Thank you.
Mr. Afanas, I wish the same thing for you and praying. God does intervene when you pray sincerely. If you ask him for something, he does intervene and do it. So I have 2 little 100 by all of them there. Have a blessed night.
Thank you very much.
And Chris, that caller there.
Divine intervention.
Yeah, Big Six. I want to say good evening to you, Big Six, and he really says it's all Chris, and he spoke with a lot of confidence, thinking that both players will be on that lineup, and Dominicans on a whole looking forward to that. After what we've seen the West Indies doing their careers, we're definitely looking forward for that, for these 2 players to be on the test team in Dominica. That is what Dominicans are really hoping for. Not only a lot of Dominicans, Chris, and the majority of Dominicans looking for that to happen at the Windsor Park.
It is 15 minutes before 8 o'clock. The program is Off the Field on DBS. By the way, next week, Wednesday, Gavin Richards is back on the program. His holidays will come to an end and he will be here Gavin, good evening to you and your lovely wife. Let's hope you've enjoyed the holidays. We're waiting for you to return sometime early next week. This is the Off the Field program brought to you through the kind compliments of Big Edge Financial Express. Right, so we're trying to get the Big Edge Financial Express, and we say good evening to the good people at Big Edge Financial Express.
You've got the edge over your circumstances. Many times there'll be trials to face, at least when it comes to your waning finances. You've got the edge, help is coming your way. You've got Big Edge for those days when you're running low. Big Edge is the place to go. Big Edge, the cash can be in your hand with the easiest payment plan. Cash in a flash.
Well, as Prime Minister, I have taken a decision to appoint Alec Afanaz and Kavem Hodge as sports ambassador of the Commonwealth of Dominica with immediate effect. They will be issued both with a diplomatic passport to facilitate their travels, and they will also be provided with an allowance to meet some of their basic obligations. And I intend to host a ceremony for them once the tour of India is over, to announce further some recognition for them from the country standpoint. I believe that is important that we provide them with all unnecessary support, the motivation they require. They're two young men full of promise, and I think the country needs to create a ribbon around them, a ribbon of support and solidarity. I think they're very bright futures ahead, and they're going to require all of us to support them. I'm very, very impressed with them. I'm very impressed with their discipline, their focus. They both have gone through their various challenges and, their non-selection from some time and wanting to give up, but they have persevered, and today they're part of the West Indies cricket team. Certainly, every one of us looks forward to both of them being on the squad, West Indies versus India, in Dominica, and what a glorious time that would be. And I think many people across the region too hold great promise in these two gentlemen, and I think it's important for us to support them. So the decision has been taken to appoint them as sports ambassadors for Dominica, and as I said, when the India tour is over, we will host an appropriate ceremony in Dominica to give full recognition for their achievements and for their talents, and I think I'm excited about their future, and two young men, who have really persevered and willing to provide them the support that they require.
And of course, that's the Prime Minister of Dominica, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, making the announcement this week that the two youngsters, Kavem Hodge and Alec Afanaz, will be made sports ambassadors. Delvin?
And Curtis said it quite clear from the Prime Minister, hoping that the two guys, strong statement, Curtis, hoping that the two guys can be on the team in Dominica, and I say that for Dominicans and regionally. So already there's a campaign going on in terms of the two guys, and wishing that could come through, Curtis, and that would be a very gorgeous day in the Commonwealth of Dominica, Curtis.
Let's go back to the telephone. Good evening.
Curtis and Delvin, good night.
Good evening.
I have already congratulated my two heroes, man. But the thing is that Kavem doesn't speak about his exploit in Barbados. He's speaking about Atkins and Caribbean, but he has played all his cricket at UE. I have seen him several times, all about Barbados playing Division 1 cricket for UE. I have seen him with Gian. Well, Afanaz did not go to UE, right? But Kavem played all his cricket all about Barbados, and UE is a high prestigious club. But I do not know what we have to hit the nail hard on the head to have both gentlemen on the West Indies team, because you know how these selectors think. And I would like them to play, but the thing is that these selectors, they're more thinking of the bigger islands, because look at the small islands. Small islands are suffering. Though we have talent to for them to play for the West Indies team, but they're suffering. So we have to. What thing is sure, our finance is sure. The speak is sure on the team, but we have to lobby for Kavem to make it, because Kavem went across to Bangladesh and they didn't give him play. So there was a golden opportunity that he missed. He should have played him in Bangladesh. But anyway, I want to wish both of them well, and I wish both of them will be the West Indies will be part of the West Indies team to play here. And that will delve in a little bit in 99th Test match to be played in Dominica, in the West. 99th Test match between West Indies and in 99.
Right.
The one in Trinidad will be the 100th. And the statistics that are that West Indies are 130, India 22, and 46 drawn. So the 99th Test match, it will be historic in Dominica. But I do not, because we have played twice in Dominica and we have not won yet. And the Indian team is a strong team with Shubman Gill, the batting prince of India, I call him, Oh, yes. Anyway, good luck to both of them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Kavem, let's speak briefly about your days at UWI. I think you highlighted that when you spoke about your cricketing career and so on. But your days at UWI, how many years you spent at UWI in Barbados?
6 years. So I would have started first class cricket while I was at UWI. So obviously, playing first class cricket and doing a grade, it becomes it could be very tedious. Obviously it's not easy spending all day on the field and then coming back to your hotel room and having to study, do assignments, submit assignments. So fortunately there was a program that really facilitated students who traveled. You had advisors, giving you directions of what courses to take, how many to do. So it was really helpful. And they really facilitated that. So I'm grateful for that. But being at UWI and playing club cricket in Barbados, it's a very competitive environment, and it really set the benchmark for my work ethic and understanding myself and my game, and it was really fruitful, my time at Barbados. So like I said, it really set the platform for me, and I was grateful for that journey.
How many years you said you spent at UWI?
6.
6 years.
Yes.
At UWI, and as you said, you played in the Barbados League.
Yes.
For these years. Let's go back to the telephone. The program is Off the Field. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Curtis. Curtis, Delvin, cricket is a psychological thing. When you have that, cricket is being played on the field and off the field. Once you can get cricket played on the field and off the field, my brother, you're going to get big rewards. And I'm telling you, the selectors that whatever they want to do, they have to change their mind. Put the two gentlemen to play in Dominica. It's going to be a psychological thing. They'll get the support from us. And my brother, once you can get the support off the field, you never see a test match play in Dominica, and the support they get from the stands is overwhelming. You didn't see when they play the 2 1-days in Dominica. The cricketers say Dominica is the best place to play cricket, and the support they get is overwhelming. So I'm telling the selectors, that thing is, don't make the mistake and don't put those two gentlemen. Is a big mistake they're going to make. If they put them in Dominica, we're going to come to support them, and we'll be playing for them on the stand. They'll be playing in the field, but we'll be playing for them on the stand. And with that support, I believe those guys going to do great things. So I'm telling the selectors, do not make that mistake and don't put those two gentlemen there. It's a big mistake you want to make. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Delvin, I personally never speak to selectors. I always feel that they have their work to do, and I never attempt to advise selectors. Kavem, you've been hearing these sentiments.
Yeah.
Any comments from you on these sentiments you've been hearing?
No, I think a lot of the things that as a player is not in your control. I think, what we try to do is control what we can, and that is how we prepare, how we take care of ourselves, and just making the most of the opportunity, when we get it. Anything outside of that, we have no control.
Absolutely no control.
So we just try and focus on what we can control and makes life easier for us, and just set a clear path.
Delvin?
Well, kids, you talk about you don't talk to selectors, you don't deal with selectors. Well, kids, the selectors, they always say that the selectors are the finals. See, but kids, the selectors have to look at all angles and look at the best possible team. They have to look at the players at the disposal. They have to cover the best team. They have to look at the track at the Windsor Park. And as you know, that the track at the Windsor Park is a track that can help the fast bowlers, but also the spinners coming to
You said the
field.
selectors have to look at the track, the selectors?
Of course, Curtis.
You have to look at the track at Windsor Park?
Well, obviously, for the first test match, and so you're playing at the Windsor Park, you have to look at the team that's suited for the Windsor Park, because you're not going to pick a team that's not suited for the Windsor Park, because you're talking about a wicket that turn in. You always want to have two spinners on your team. As you know, the West Indies usually changing for the damage at the Windsor Park. Most of the spinners at Windsor Park always doing damage. So they have to look at all revenue. They have to look at a left-arm spinner. So Kavem can bowl left-arm spin. So you can never tell Chris they might be looking at other guys and so on. But I don't want to talk about other guys, because as you know that we're really hoping that those two guys can come in Dominica. And they have to look at all angles. And what we realize in Dominica is that Dominicans support West Indies cricket. It doesn't matter how bad West Indies is doing, and so we are full on the Windsor Park Stadium and support them, Chris, and that is the thing. So if they're looking for support, Chris, and if that can happen, because the two players have been selected, what you'll find, Chris, is that Dominicans will maybe see the matches on TV too, because we'll have a packed stadium. So when we have a packed stadium, they show the match live in Dominica. So it's benefiting for the West Indies team all over, because they're playing matches all around the Caribbean and they hardly get a packed stand. And what happened recently there, going out in the ICC World Cup qualifiers, even making it worse, Curtis, for fans to really show up, because fans have, even from the Prime Minister, have been disappointed, much as for fans, natural fans.
Let's go to the telephone. Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, good evening there to members and members. Fireman touching base, I must put in my 2 cents. But first thing I have to say, my brothers and these guys, all make me happy, all make me joyful, all make me proud, all make me great. And first thing I have to say, the greatest Prime Minister that ever passed, I call him the world boss. He give all the responsibility, and I love that. Which means all have to defend the people and defend the country. Now, what I love to say to all you guys, now want to get all yourself up and running, right? Right now, there you can see what's happening in West Indies cricket. So when you see all you get all the chance, no matter how much crowd it have, and remember now, no coach and no captain no playing for you. When you have your bat or your ball, you're the leader and the captain of yourself. You're supposed to see what's happening. And as the brother said, he right and that. Right now, in a kind of world that's very active and people studying people on television and phone and everything. So I tell you, the same way as I tell you, they might be studying your way you play your game. Study this type of bowlers that come in your way, how they bowling, how they doing. Do you think I'm making sense or I don't making sense? You there with me, my lord? You know what I'm saying? Because really and truly right now we're in an open world. Don't fool yourself, you might be just coming, but anybody that come on this West Indies team, this guy is watching them from a very long time. So all you have to be studying them also. So when all you get a chance, make us proud. Because I tell you personally, as man, as I say, I'm to have somebody I can boast and talk about. I can feel them, I can touch them, I can talk to them. I can start talking about foreigners I never even know. I don't hear about them. But all in my country, all making me proud and great. You know what I'm saying? So the people we follow, make the people great. And make the West Indies, while they playing the politics, make them see even we have a little small island, all you get all the chance, all you're going to defend it, because that is all the choice. I know your father very well, and he's making you proud, and I'm feeling happy and joyful. My Lord, stay positive, stay balanced, love life, respect all yourself, keep away from drugs and violence, love life. Fireman, they value 200%. Up and running, world boss, he's a great man. Fireman, love you for life. Fireman, running, give thanks for life.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, caller. It's 8 o'clock. Kavem, what happens now? We've seen your debut match with the West Indies. What is going on with you right now? Are you preparing for anything in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? What is going on?
Yeah, of course, there's been a lot of preparation going on behind the scenes. Making my debut is always a dream come true. But with that being said, there's other things to look forward to as well. Obviously, that being the test match and the camp that is coming up. So, myself and Alec, we are traveling tomorrow to Antigua for that camp. And, we've been doing a lot of preparation, gym sessions, how we take care of ourselves, how we eat, how we rest. Just making sure that we're in a good space mentally and physically. And, like I said, just try and grab the opportunity when it comes along, So we're just trying to hit the ground running when we get to Antigua.
What is the camp going to focus on from tomorrow? You said you're traveling tomorrow.
Yeah.
And when is the camp going to start?
Most likely the day after.
The day after. What is that going to focus on, really?
I think probably just just like skills and, just focusing on specifics, batsmen, bowlers, and, just trying to get a feel for everybody. I don't think there's any games per se. So it's more about, this focusing on the skill aspect of the batsmen and bowlers and, the coaches and the background staff, just trying to get a feel for everybody and, see what they're working with, So that's why we, Alec and I think it is really important to hit the ground running.
And how many players are involved?
I think it's 24.
24 players, and you and Alec are part of the training camp, Delvin?
And these are from these 24 players, apart from the others and so on, that's representing West Indies or in Zimbabwe, we be liable for selection, Kiddies.
The 22 plus.
Yeah, plus the 4 or 5 of them they consider playing in Zimbabwe, because as you know they have to leave to come down, so they'll be vying for selection also for the first test match against India, Kiddies. So a lot of players, Kiddies, we're just hoping to see what the selectors come up with, Kiddies. And because we had a lot of Dominicans saying about this too, Kavem and Alec, but we know that there were 2 West Indians before, 2 Dominicans that played for West Indies before, and that was
on the same team.
On the same team, and that was even shooting for the Norbert Phillip, and that was against Australia in 1978. So, Kiddies, a lot of young people will not know about that, but veteran people like you and me, we know that.
So, Irvin Shillingford
and Norbert Phillip
played on the same West Indies team.
Yes, against Australia.
Against Australia,
1978.
1978.
And that's a very long time ago, kids.
Yeah, so that's some history in the making. And as you said, it's a very, very long time ago.
So a lot of people will remember.
Right. So that is certainly very, very interesting to hear. It is 3 minutes going down past 8 o'clock. The program is off the field. Let's go back to the telephone. Good evening. Yeah, caller, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. That's Mr. Bibbs Williams.
Right. Bibbs, how are you doing?
I am behaving myself in a very hot Connecticut.
Then you are enjoying yourself.
Yes, gentlemen. Well, I'm just tuning in, but I want to know the panel that there. I know the great man himself should be there, the great Delvin Esprit.
You call him the great Delvin Esprit.
Yeah, the great man. And Mr. Matthew, you also great too. Many years ago you could make Dominica team, but circumstances been our control. But you were great. Believe me, I know it for a fact. Yeah, and the great Delvin Esprit could confess to that. But gentlemen, I just listening. I didn't know who else you have there than the other great cricketer, Mr. His name I just had to figure out.
Kavem Hodge.
Mr. Great Kavem Hodge, man. First of all, Mr. Kavem Hodge, I want to thank you a lot. And I want to also thank the Prime Minister of Dominica for what he did for you and Mr. the Kafanas. Great job, Prime Minister. Make this guy's ambassador very early, represent Dominica and the Caribbean. I'm proud. But gentlemen, as you all know, I was listening to your program in America, and I get a lot of emails and fellas will say, Bills, I'm listening to your program, and I love your program. They love you all, definitely. But whenever I call any other program, I call Kyrie FM Q95, and I'll say, well, great program all you have in Dominica. But all I have to say to these 2 great honorable Dominicans, that from the West Indies team, they have to just go out there, perform. No matter what happens, we love you guys the same way. Don't put pressure on yourself. Go out there and perform. And believe me, I know you will perform. And the Dominica crowd will come in large numbers, because I have a lot of friends coming down from the States, Canada, England, just name it. They're coming down for the test game. My brother, the great Kelly Williams, will be there on Sunday. And a lot of other Dominicans I know coming in for that, but I just can't make it because I can't get time off from my job. But Mr. Matthew, you did a great job. And you also said that the man himself will be back next week. Mr. Richards, am I right?
Yes, Gavin Richards is back next week.
The great Gavin Richards will be back next week. and I love the program. But one more thing I want to ask: is it that thing happening already for the Dominican Association of Grenadian, and was that called before, President?
I did not get.
You mentioned something about Glenetian.
Yes, sir, Mr. Esprey, yeah. Because from what I understood, they said that the election was called already.
No. The election is on the 22nd of July, and there's a lot of people in a very hot election coming up.
Well, I'm being honest. I play football with the great man himself. That great, honest, Glenetian, very honest man. I play for Dominican for many years all over the Caribbean, and my vote personally will go for Glenetian. And Mr. Esprey, you'll confess to that too. Mr. Kavem Hodge will confess to that, and the great Mr. Matthew will confess to that himself. But Glenetian, we have to go out and push him and give him. We have to go and vote him personally, because that's a great man for Dominica sports. Not only football. You understand me, and Mr. Curtis Matthew and Mr. Delvin Esprey. You understand? We have to go out there and make sure that we put back Mr. Glenetian in that seat. You understand me? Because he will bring Dominica football team a long way. It might take a little time, but he will push us a long way, because I play for Dominica for many years. And what this man is doing for Dominica football, no other president in history have done it. I know it for a fact. And you guys could confess to that. Because now, Mr. Curtis Matthew, I don't know if you know the great Delvin Esprey used to be a goalkeeper once upon a time.
Delvin Esprey is a goalkeeper?
Once upon a time, and he was much better than me coming up. I would confess to that. He was a much better keeper than me. When we were kids, he used to fly and hold that ball. And he can confess to that also. So this man is all wrong there. But I know definitely you Mr. Matthew, you should be on Dominica team many years ago in the earlies. But again, I can't go too much on that, because you were pretty. Believe me. And the great Esprey will confess to that too. But gentlemen, I can't take too much of the time. I love the program, and I am hot in America. I love the program, and I want to pray for my friend. I got some sad news today from Dominica. My good friend Sammy Lugie, that's my best friend from Dominica, Sammy Lugie, is in the hospital. We have to pray for him. They are poster of goodwill. You know him personally. You all know him. We have to pray for my friend.
Okay,
so, gentlemen, I love the program. I love you guys, and we love you in diaspora. And good show. And Mr. Curtis, I must give that to you too, man, to do a show tonight and back tomorrow morning. Man, you have a lot of lolling in the ocean. So I love you. Good program, Dominica. We love you. We're listening. I am Bibbs.
All right.
God bless. Stay safe.
And Kiddies,
he sounds very energetic.
Kiddies, man, giving you all the accolades. Kiddies talking about you having a long day today and press tomorrow morning, and he's really seeing the amount of work you're doing. I want to say hats off to Irvin Bibbs Williams up in the States. And Kiddies, he say hats off to Kavem Hodge and wishing Kavem all the best.
Yeah. It is 8 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. The program is off the field. Kavem, I would like you to talk to the young cricketers of Dominica. You have been around, as we said, for a very long time. Talk to the young people, the young cricketers of Dominica, those who are looking forward to getting to the Windward Islands level, obviously trying to get to the West Indies level.
Well, what I would tell, the younger ones who are aspiring, I think, it's important to understand, where we come from. I think the biggest challenge is, our environment. Most of the times, say we're a product of our environment, and it's important to, I think, that we use what we have. Sometimes we might feel that, we don't have certain things, or we're not on the same level of resources as, the other territories, and that could be a bit of, it could be daunting. I know personally, earlier up, that's one of the issues that I had, one of the challenges. Many times I used to do a lot of things on my own, and I felt like giving up. I felt like, I wasn't doing enough. But, I was just thankful that I stuck to it. So one of the messages that I would send to them is that, just try and use what you have to get where you want to be. It might not seem like a lot, but, the simple things, trying to improve, adding bits by bits every day. Whether it's to go take a little jog, or get a friend to give you some throwdowns, whether if it's cricket or basketball or football, whatever it is, find some way to, to empower yourself, to boost yourself. Because I'm a firm believer, whatever you put out in the universe, your efforts, you will reap the rewards for it. I know it's easier said than done, but I mean, that's the kind of belief and determination you have to have, because it's okay to be motivated, but you have to have the discipline. You have to want it. You cannot wait for somebody else to say, you have to do this, you have to do that, because it's not going to happen every day. People are going to let you do your own thing at some point, so that's where the discipline comes in. Knowing what you want to achieve, and you're just keeping at it every day. And I believe, once you do that, the universe, will make way for you. You understand? So that's my message to whoever's aspiring, to do anything. Just believe in what you want to do, respect authority. Don't get bitter with anybody because you're not seeing the progress. Just take life in stages. Like my good friend Alex say, live life in stages. Everything will happen at the right time. Whatever you put out, that's whatever you will get back.
Kavem, some people who criticize the West Indies when obviously don't do well, they claim that there is a lack of passion among the West Indies players. Many players, they feel that the passion is not there among the players. You don't have to answer the question, but do you see a lack of passion among the West Indies players?
I don't. Being a part of the squad, it's obviously it's easy to sit on your couch and look at the cricket and say all kind of things, but being a part of the team and being in the dressing room, you really understand how much passion there is. The preparation, the team meetings, sitting with analysts, the sessions with the physio, everything there's so much going on behind the scenes before you step onto the field. It's just unfortunate that the results that we want as players and supporters, it hasn't come, But I would never say that the passion isn't there, because passion is not just on the field, it's what you do behind the scenes in preparation to go there, and it's a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people don't realize that by sitting on the couch and just watching, the finished product. But the lack of passion, I would not say that that's lacking.
But you understand the fans when they get really disappointed.
Yep.
A case in point this week when the West Indies scored 374 in a World Cup qualifier, Netherlands came and got 374, and in the super over, the game was over very, very, very early.
Yeah.
So you would understand how the fans feel when they see that sort of performance from the West Indies team.
Yeah, it's understandable. West Indies cricket, we have a rich history. We're a proud nation. You understand? We have produced a lot of great cricketers, so it's totally understandable. How the public feels. They would expect the team to perform a certain way, and obviously if that doesn't happen, they would feel away. So that's life, and that's expected.
Well,
Kidis, you just remind me of something, Kidis, and you're talking about the Netherlands, you're talking about Holland beating West Indies, Kidis, and Kidis, you'll be talking about your 244 not out in Holland, Kidis.
Well, I did play some cricket in Holland many years ago.
Well, let maybe help them to boost their cricket, Kidis, because you scored 244 in Holland not out, and that was a very good and entertaining knock. But Kidis, what happened and so on against the Netherlands there? And is the level of cricket, Kidis? Is the level of cricket that was played that really hurting the West Indies fans, and so it's the type of drop catches, the type of misfield of ball, a guy lob a ball to hold the guy and hold the drop an easy catch. Like it is things you never expect to happen, and those type of things do happen in cricket, but things you never expect to happen, Curtis, it happened, and then all of a sudden the super over and so on, that 30, for the time somebody score 30 on you in a super over, the match is over, because Curtis 30 in 6 balls. you something have to, a miracle have to go your way, Chris. And I think the Netherlands really wanted that game. You could see the lackluster type of cricket the West Indies was playing. They struck a ball long to long off, and from the time this guy struck the ball to long off, they'll run 2. It doesn't matter who that feeling the ball. Then guys pushing for 2. And I haven't seen that level of running in cricket for a very long time. I can remember playing cricket, and the time I remember seeing this type of level of cricket was between Kent Williams and Mervyn Thomas running between the wickets for Dominica and for Windows. And I can remember those days there. Those guys were very quick because the level of type of feeling there was in this power came in on the field and a ball popped in the air. We expect Paul to take the catch, and the way he went, it's just the type of cricket. It's not looking a team that on a mission, and you remember that you remember the night that some people wanted to say I was hard on the West Indies, and you remember I told you that when we meet teams like Nepal and so, we should be ponging those men, beating this team badly. And when you hear the coaches and the management team talking like that, there's always a sense of fright when there's supposed to be a sense of going all out there to just beat those teams. When you're lacking that level of confidence going into playing against mediocre teams, that is what's going to happen to you. Because you're supposed to be looking to put away those teams there, and then you're playing mediocre cricket and you're letting them beat you, and then all of a sudden you're almost up for the World Cup. So what the West Indies fans are praying for now is for the Netherlands and Zimbabwe to beat Sri Lanka. That's, to me, if that can happen, and West Indies can beat Sri Lanka, so Sri Lanka can stay on 4 points, and the West Indies can get a chance maybe to qualify with Zimbabwe. But the West Indies will definitely have to pray for the three teams in their zone. The two other teams
they have to play some very good cricket.
Yeah, good cricket to beat Sri Lanka. If those two teams can beat Sri Lanka, West Indies will play Sri Lanka in their last match. Where then they can, if they beat Sri Lanka, they can let Sri Lanka remain with 4 points, and they can get 6 points so they can qualify. So it's a lot of work still, but West Indies' chances are very, very slim, because Sri Lanka playing very good cricket.
Let's go back to the telephone, maybe for the last time tonight. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, let me just say a quick congratulations to Kavem Hodge on his recognition by the government, and also wish him very good as he continues his cricket. He has been there, as you say, for a little while. It was unfortunate that when he traveled with the rest of his team, when some of the players want to play, and they picked that makeshift team that he did not make it to the 11. He was supposed to be on that 11. And probably if he had played there, he would have been on West Indies team probably as one of the main players up till now, but he never got his chance to play. And you had fellas like Myers and all of those that got their chance, and up and over they are playing.
Yeah.
So that is how it is in cricket. But just for a quick look at the two games that West Indies lost in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe team did not beat West Indies. The Zimbabwe crowd that beat West Indies.
12 man.
West Indies nervous like that in that game. And the West Indies dropped 5 catches in that game. And when West Indies came to bat, every batsman that come there, almost every one of them was looking like they were going to out the next ball. Well, apart from the two openers that had a good start. Then Johnson Charles come, and Johnson Charles looked like he was going to out at every ball he shoot, and he really did not score. And the rest of the batsmen, they allowed the crowd to get to them. And an easy victory for West Indies, and they lost. Coming to the Netherlands game, you cannot put down that score. West Indies is the only team that would have lost that game. You cannot put down that score and come back and lose that game. You have to go all out. And you heard what Sammy said. Sammy said West Indies is the worst fielding team in the tournament. And you could see West Indians, they are very lackadaisical on the field, as if it's not a competition, as if it's a fact match they're playing, or probably just a practice game. And basically, who is supposed to blame for that is the players on the field. West Indies lost 2 games that was in their hands, basically. Both games were in their hands. And now we have to be thinking of if a team beats a team. Nobody's not going to beat Sri Lanka. That Sri Lanka is one of the toughest teams out there. That is how Sri Lanka going to lose. I mean, anything can happen in cricket. But if it's that wrestling is depending on, then the chances are very slim. Because they had it in their hand. West Indies was supposed to come out with their 4 points easily. That was easy. That's easy, 4 points. I mean, I've seen West Indies could have gotten for that next round there, and they just threw it away. So right now, we just have to wait, and it's unfortunate that West Indies may be out of the World Cup for the very first time. But that is how it is, unfortunate. Let's hope that we can pick up from there and continue going through. But I've never seen West Indies so nervous play a cricket game and allow a crowd to beat them instead of beating.
Okay. Caller, thank you very much. It is 20 after 8 o'clock, and at 8:30, Sherma John and her team comes in to speak about money, the management of your funds. That program is at 8:30. We'll make way in the next 4.5 minutes for Sherma John and her team right here on DBS Radio. They'll be here at 8:30. Let's get across again to the studios to join Kavem Hodge. Final thoughts on the program. Kavem, again, we are happy that you are here talking to the rest of Dominica. Final thoughts on the program tonight.
Yeah, it's always nice to, to be on any kind of program. It's one thing to be on the field running around and playing cricket, and I believe it's also important that, your fellow countrymen, get an insight of who you are as a person. Because we tend to be very different individuals on the field. I'm full of antics on the field. I'm full of antics off the field too. I'm a bit.
You enjoy yourself. You enjoy yourself.
I do. Probably a lot of the guys, if you ask them, they would say I'm the mischievous one. I like to play pranks and all that stuff. But I like to keep people, whoever's around me, I like them to to be smiling and be happy. That's the kind of person that I am. But I really enjoy being on the show. And, whatever a show or talk show it is, like I said, it's important that, the rest of the country know who you are as a person, because that's important. We're different. We're not just the sport that we play. We're human beings. So, I'm always happy to be on this show. And, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here.
Let's just go to the telephone one more time. Good evening. Caller, good evening to you.
Thanks for the opportunity, gentlemen. I'm listening. But I tried calling earlier and just wasn't successful. Thanks for the opportunity. And to the both players, I want to say congratulations once again. And most importantly, you guys have become role models to especially the younger players. I want you guys to seize the opportunity to make good use of it. And then when you leave the game of cricket, your legacy will remain not only with you, but long after you. You guys have also been given opportunities. We know that our country, Dominica, when it comes to cricket, we appear to be like targets. We may have the best prospects, but then we always become victims of circumstances for unknown reasons. So whenever the opportunities arise, seize it again and stamp your authority and your position. Don't allow it to go by and then live in regrets. We know about West Indies cricket. We've been speaking about it. The whole world knows about West Indies, where they are and what we are. We are nowhere now. So you guys are the future of cricket. Make use of it. Because I'm saying from my personal view that is just ask you a question which I think is very ticklish regarding passion. I don't think there is no passion in West Indies cricket. The passion I'm looking for now starts with the selectors. Let's look at England, let's look at India, let's look at Australia. The players that are playing for West Indies now over a decade, they could never have been in one of those teams. They would have been gone already. West Indies have become a recycle bin, and it's time we regenerate present power, potential, energy, revitalize it with fresh players that have the passion and willingness to compete and play for West Indies. It's high time we tired talk about go back to the drawing board. It's over. So you guys have the opportunity, seize it, and make good of it. And for all, make Dominica, your land of your birth, of our birth, the very best. And at the same time, in conclusion, let me say hats off to your father, Alexander Hodge. I know he's a big man. You may not have taken part of his potential on the tracks, but you have gone to another part of the discipline. Hands up to both of you. And including your mom. Congratulations once again. God bless you. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling the program. Delvin, the last minutes or last 30 seconds will be yours.
Well, Kidis, I really want to congratulate Kavem again and congratulate Afanas and so on, and hats off to the government for recognizing those two young guys. Those two young guys have worked extremely hard, and I will say tonight there's two names I have to call: Tom Laffor and Gifford Walsh towards Kavem, and also Alec Raffer and Sam Kernan towards Afanas.
Alec Afanas.
Those guys there have played a major part in those two guys' life in terms of the training, in terms of the upcoming, and I want to give hats off to them. As I said, a lot of work have been done at the back of the scene. Those guys, they have influence on those two young guys, and those guys have been playing cricket and they have been going through it and working hard. And I really wish them all the best, kiddies, and hoping that the both of them can be on the team for the test match in Dominica, and the general public will be very much pleased about that, kiddies. And before I leave, kiddies, I must say good evening to Saru, because Saru is in St. Thomas, and Saru,
our partner Saru.
Saru, he played for Dominica in cricket and football.
Yeah.
A goalkeeper, you remember that he got a 4 somewhere in Trinidad, kiddies.
My partner Saru, good evening to you and the rest of the family. That too is the program Off the Field for this evening. Kavem Hodge, thank you very much again for the time. You say you have to travel tomorrow. We thank you for being on DBS Radio this evening.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All the best. Delvin, thank you very much for being around. Next week, Wednesday, Gavin Richards returns on the program Off the Field. Curtis Matthew saying good night. The program tonight brought to listeners through the kind compliments of Big Edge Financial Express.
You've got the edge over your circumstances. Many times there'll be trials to face. At least when it comes to your waning finances. You've got the edge, help is coming your way. You've got big edge for those days when you're running low. Big edge is the place to go. Big edge, the cash can be in your hand. With the easiest payment plan. Cash in a flash. You've got the edge over your circumstances. Many times there'll be trials to face. At least when it comes to your waning finances. You've got the edge, help is coming your way. You've got big edge for those days when you're running low. Big edge is the place to go. Big edge, the cash can be in your hand. With the easiest payment plan. Big edge, cash in a flash.
This is DBS, the station bringing you more music, talk, and news. Whenever there's a breaking story, a new hit, or topics for debate, count on your nation station. We are the first for news, the first for talk, and the best in music mixers. So when you want the best and you want it first, tune in to your nation station, Radio DBS. Across the Caribbean, you listen. Across the world, you listen. And at home in the nature isle, you listen. You listen to DBS for unbiased coverage of breaking news, original programs, and so much music. You listen for the information that will change your lives and the humor to brighten your days. So here at DBS Radio, we deliver. We deliver timely news, information to live by, and the everyday interaction that we all so need. These are the things that make DBS Radio the better sounding radio in Dominica. Keep on listening. This is DBS, the station bringing you more music, talk, and news. Whenever there's a breaking story, a new hit, or topics for debate, count on your nation station. We are the first for news, the first for talk, and the best in music mixers. So when you want the best and you want it first, tune in to your nation station, Radio DBS.
Whoa.
you cleaning.